Welcome to our deep relaxation class.
Hariom, and welcome to our deep relaxation class tonight, facilitated by the Eldersburg Branch Library. You can always find these recorded videos on YouTube if you'd ever like to revisit a class or check out some of the other instructors' classes too. Those are there. You can go to YouTube and check out Library CCPL, and then you'll be able to find our classes under health and wellness, or there might even be a yoga tab now. And thank you so much for taking the time to participate in class. I did want to take a little bit of time just to bring in a reminder of some things we had touched on last class. And every class we do have a little bit of a different intention. And in an hour, there's only so many things we can cover and do. But it really is valuable, at least for me, and I'm sure hopefully the viewers out there, to take some of that time at the beginning of class to really be intentional and to really take that time to create an intentional space, a mindful space. We're all transitioning out of different activities and roles, and this time is just for you. This is a time where you can refill your cup and relax and learn tools to take with you off of your yoga mat too. So again, thank you for joining. If you're not already in a comfortable seated position, go ahead and find a place to get comfortable. I'm propped up on some yoga bolsters because that just makes sitting here a little bit more sustainable for me. Okay, so real quick, last week we talked about three ways that we could ground ourselves and improve our well-being right here and now. And just to reiterate, gosh, I hope I can remember. It's been a couple weeks. Have I been practicing these well enough? Let's see. So we're going to really start to just by actually trying to be here with our breath awareness. And there's a lot of things that can really help ground us in the present moment. And one of those is our breath, or a breath gratitude practice. And so one of the best things you can do to better yourself, immediately improve your well-being, is to take some long, slow, deep breaths. So I'm going to encourage us to do that now for about another minute or two. I want you just to try and start to shift your awareness here right now. If it's comfortable for you, you can let your eyes close. Let the shoulders relax back and down. Bring some awareness to your breath and where you feel your breath in your physical body. And if there's anything that feels inhibiting about your breath, try not to judge it, but just ease into the fact and gratitude that whatever your breath looks like, sounds like, feels like, you're still breathing. The more you can, just be with your breath and find some gratitude. This is a very simple practice in theory, but its benefits are certainly cumulative. Sometimes it can be really hard to start a meditation practice or even to sustain a meditation practice because we're so easily distracted so much of the time. That's why it's really important, if not even just for this class, that we can spend a few minutes or a few moments really being intentional, being here, having that compassion for yourself wherever you're at, and then just building on that. And so that's really a second practice all in itself, is compassion and seeing through the eyes of compassion. And I think that sometimes there's some confusion about what compassion really means, or what is the application of compassion? How do I apply that? How can I be more compassionate? And one of my favorite translations, understanding what that looks like, is just really knowing and imagining, um, realizing. It comes from the realization that every other human being is having their human experience, and just like me, that person has moments of happiness and joy, that person has their own unique and beautiful passions and interests, and that also, like me, that person has moments of suffering and sadness and loss in this human experience. And so compassion is a realization, and how we can apply a compassionate mindset or outlook is by really just taking the time to remember, and instead of react, to remember and reflect. When someone is hurting, just like me, that person needs consolation or tenderness or whatever it is that that person needs, and they express. Or if somebody is expressing a behavior like anger or jealousy, I have to remember that they're human too, and that we can't judge them for their expressions and their behaviors in their human experience. So compassion is really this all-encompassing, tender, loving outlook to every other human being in the world. We know that all of us are doing whatever we can, a moment at a time, to hopefully feel a little bit happier or to suffer less. And with that basis and understanding, we can start to apply that in our relationships to ourselves. You can definitely be more compassionate to yourself as well as to others. So those are my reminders and pointers for tonight's class that we can all be reminded of and pointed towards that truth and peace that comes from living a compassionate life. So let's have some compassion and love to ourselves and for our bodies now. Let's allow our mind and attention to serve our bodies well so that we can be relaxed. So in your comfortable seat, I want you to take a deep breath, and I want you to squeeze your hands and make fists and shrug your shoulders up. And then exhale long and slow, release your hands and press your palms down. Relax. Inhale, squeeze all the tension, the stress, the anxiety that gets built up over time. And with control and awareness and compassion, exhale, relax your hands. I'm going to come back to my mat here now so we can continue our practice together. And again, when you're ready, we're going to just inhale and squeeze those shoulders up, squeeze the hands and make fists. And then exhale slowly, relax the shoulders, relax the hands. Let the hands and arms be soft. Every exhalation. Inhale. You'll feel like it's harder to get tense with every passing breath. And then exhale. Feel that cumulative release in the shoulders. You settle them down. Feel that like water just flowing down through tributaries all the way down, and letting that relaxation spread through everything, every joint. Now go ahead, if you can, press your arms out to the side, right about shoulder height. And go ahead and just slowly begin to bring ear to shoulder. And again, do this with your breath. You can inhale very slowly back to center. And then exhale, just explore your range of motion. You can make some little circles with the hands. Have any kind of injuries or recent surgeries or anything, please just Move about this practice cautiously and know your body. Build your range of motion gradually. Be compassionate wherever you're at. Bodies are different every single day, from year to year, month to month. Go ahead and settle back in, relax those arms. Now this time, go ahead and just tuck the chin in towards the chest. We're going to go ahead and continue from the neck all the way down, relaxing everything. Chin tucks into the chest, and then chin tilts up and away. Exhale, chin to chest. Feel that exhalation deep in the belly, belly drawing in. And then inhale. Feel that fresh air flood up into the chest through the diaphragm as the chin reaches up. Now we're stretching our eyes here too. Exhaling down, eye gaze passes down to the floor. Then inhale again. Expand. Feel like a flower blossoming to greet the sun. You can even, with your elbows close by your side, turn your palms up. Inhale. And then exhaling, round back down. Hands rest on the lap. Really opening through the chest, rotator cuffs, kind of finding that parallel line across collarbones as you inhale and then exhale. Let's do this 3 more times together. Big breath in, open and blossom, sunflower. And exhale. Close your eyes and go inward. Find that security in compassion. Somebody told me once that compassion is invincible. And I have to say that I believe that. And settle back into your comfortable seat. This time, go ahead and make like a cactus arm or field goal post sort of shape with the arms, shoulder blades together. Inhale, pull the shoulders back together. And then exhale, just bring the hands to touch. Inhale, open. Exhale, arms together. Inhale, palms face forward. Exhale, palms together. Inhale. Exhale. This time with your inhale, turn your thumbs to face back. And just feel that slight degree of opening through the fronts of the shoulders. And then exhale, palms together. Inhale, thumbs face back. Exhale, palms together. 3 more times. Big breath in. Sit up tall. Exhale. Together. Last time. Big breath in. Set. Exhale. Now let the hands rest in Anjali Mudra, or this prayer position, or this just simple sign of respect and grounding you, with your thumbs resting right against the center of your chest. Find a nice tall but neutral spine, discovering that balance between all planes of movement. And you can even just start to explore your planes of movement, just making some gentle circles with the upper body, rotating around your tailbone, or that center of gravity space below the belly button. Go ahead and just relax the hands back down to the knees or lap, making a few more body circles. I was teaching yoga classes at the senior community. They like to have these referred to as roly-polies. So whether that does anything for you or not, I just thought I would pass the good news. Go ahead and switch the direction, rotating, maybe making some bigger circles. If you have to do the legs out front, you certainly could do that too, and find your body circles there. Good. Go ahead and come back to your seat and go ahead and stretch the legs out in front now. All right. We're just going to start to warm up our knees and ankles. So without sinking too far back into the shoulders, try and stay seated tall. And for me, when I'm sitting flat on the floor, I like to have a little blanket or something just kind of propped up right on the edge of my glutes and sitting bone. That helps me maintain a nice tall seated position with a little bit more ease. So go ahead and just start by rotating the ankles and pedaling the feet. Bring your awareness now beyond your breath and down into your toes. See if you can even breathe through the bottoms of your feet, so to speak. You inhale and spread your toes, and then exhale, gently curl them in. Big breath, toes spread. Exhale, curl them in. Go ahead and just roll the feet out. Do that a few more times. All right. Now, if you can, go ahead and hug your knees in towards your chest. All right, and look up towards the ceiling. If you're seated here with your feet on the floor, now I want you just to look up towards the ceiling and find that point furthest back you can reach with your eye gaze. Find a marker on your ceiling or where the walls meet or whatever it is that's up and behind you. And take note of that. Everyone's hopefully got their mental image locked in place. Okay, I can see the smoke alarm on the wall. That's the farthest thing I can see. Now we're going to actually increase our range of motion by lengthening our hamstrings and in turn helping to lengthen the spine. So this is really going to be important that you have either something that slides, like some socks, or maybe scooch off your mat, or if you have like a non-grab mat, you can just stay on your mat. But sometimes I think it's easier to come off to the side on carpet or rug, or whatever the surface is you're practicing. So I'm just going to start by hugging my left foot in towards the chest. I'm going to take a deep breath in. You can just gently prop the hands behind you if you'd like, under the shoulders. And I'm going to exhale and try to press the heel away, and then just gently point the toe. And then inhale, pull back in, just using that hamstring. And then exhale, press away, point the toe. You can see why you would want like a non-grab surface. If you're on your mat, you might end up just kind of bunching it up, which could inhibit the movement. So you need to kind of scooch off to the side and practice that on the side. You certainly can. So go ahead and do that about 12 times on that side, and then repeat about 12 times on the other side. I'm going to stop talking and instructing as much now. I think you get that. I'm going to go ahead and do this with you because I'm excited to see the improvement in my range of motion. All right, if you haven't already switched sides, go ahead and switch over to the other side, hugging that right knee in towards the chest. Try not to lose the spot you started at, or it's going to be hard to tell if there was really any improvement. Not that that's what absolutely matters. Go ahead and extend that leg, toe, and then just trying to really use the muscles of the hamstring. Plant that foot back on the floor. And repeat that about 10 more times on your own. you're ready, go ahead and hug the knees back in towards the chest. Take a deep breath in and look on back. Probably notice that you can see a lot further back now. Our hamstrings are a little warmed up. If I remember, and it seems important, maybe we'll even take another check-in at later in class. I've got a spot marked there on my mat. We're going to flip on over now and come onto our hands and knees. Make our way into this tabletop position. Hands are stacked right under the shoulders, knees under hips. Inhale, just take a look over right shoulder, and then exhale, repeat over left shoulder. Now the obliques, side bodies. Nice massage from this, lengthening, contracting. Now we're going to move through a traditional cat and cow warm-up series. When you're ready, inhale, find that arch in the spine. Really imagine this like an actual stretch across the front of the body. And then exhale, feel that stretch across the back of the body. Stay with your breath. From time to time, check back in with that gratitude or compassion practice. At the very least, stay united, connected with your breath. Explore any other movements with your back body. You can kind of shift hips side to side, or maybe sink down into a child's pose. And if child's pose isn't totally accessible and you're seated in a chair, you can just simply let the hands reach on down towards the floor and let a standing or seated forward fold. Take a few more breaths to ground here, and we'll move to our standing sequence. When you're ready, we're going to make our way to standing through a downward facing dog sequence real quick. So downward facing dog is this foundational pose in our sun salutation practice. You want to keep your hands and feet spaced apart as if you were going to do a push-up, okay? You keep your knees on the ground and just make sure the hands are just right out in front of the shoulders there. All right, and then go ahead and lift the hips up. Go ahead and start to walk the feet in. Take a look side to side. Shift the hip side to side. If you're up for it, you can stretch out one leg behind you. You can even bend the knee and turn it and open up the hips there. Then go ahead and repeat whatever you practice on one side on the other side. When you're ready, go ahead and walk the feet up in between the hands. Come into a standing forward fold. Just let the fingertips dangle towards the floor. Gently shimmy out the shoulders. And then when you're ready, inhale, slowly come all the way up to a tall standing position. Hands reach up and overhead. Hands rest in front of the chest. All right. Make any adjustments you need to your practice space. And we're going to go ahead and get ready for our sun salutations. Just want to make sure this is all level here. You can see the mat a little bit better also. All right. So when you're ready, you're just going to start standing, feet apart at the top of your mat. Inhale, stretch the hands up high and overhead and press your hips forward, arching the back, opening the heart. Exhale, bending the knees, reach the hands down towards the floor. Again, turn the head and neck side to side. And then go ahead and step the right foot far back and just gently lower that right knee to the mat. If you want to, you could have a blanket to cushion that knee. We're going to make our way up into Hanumanasana or the monkey lunge, gently shifting the hips forward. If you needed to, yoga blocks could be handy here. You could also reach the hands up and overhead. Really focus on keeping this plane across your hips. That spot where those belt loops would be in a pair of pants. Keep those nice and aligned, what I like to call square. Also try and be sure that this front knee stays either behind or right over top of that heel. You do not want that front knee to be passing beyond the toes. Lengthen through the core. If you want to, reach up through the hands, gentle arch back. Take one last nice breath in. And then exhale, let your hands frame that front foot and return to downward dog. If you have that blanket on the floor, gently move it to the side for now. And then slowly lower down to your knees, scoop the hips and chest and face forward, all the way down onto your belly and up into cobra pose. Hands stay right under the shoulders. You can come up into a high cobra, or you can stay down and just rest in a baby cobra. And when you're ready, make your way all the way back to downward facing dog. Ready, take your time. Bring that right foot up in between the hands and gently soften that left down. Again, you might like to stay here. You may or may not need that blanket or cushion underneath of the knee in this lunge. When you're ready, come up into that lifted low lunge or Hanumanasana. And again, check back in with those hip flexors. Sometimes that hip, if it's tight, wants to shift forward. We want to try and keep those hips square, knee right over top of heel, or even just behind the spine also. And when you're ready, frame that front foot, hands come down, back foot steps forward, standing forward fold. Inhale up halfway, lengthen through the spine. And exhale, release the fingertips down. Inhale, come all the way back up to standing. And exhale, hands rest in front of the heart space. Go ahead and relax the hands down and go ahead and turn sideways on your mat with your feet slightly wider. Hands on the hips, go ahead and start to circle the hips. Make 5 to 8 circles in each direction. Your own time, switch and balance that out on the other side. And when you're ready, go ahead and just widen your feet a little bit more. Turn the heels in slightly with the toes turned out. And we're going to come down for just a couple rounds of goddess squats, just getting the blood flowing throughout the whole body and really grounding down through our feet. Continuing with that grounding practice. So you're just gonna bring a bend in the knees and sink down. We're gonna come back to that field goal post arm shape. If you need to keep the hands on the hips and just sit here, that's great too. I'm gonna keep the hands in front of the chest, that's fine. Until you can bring the arms out to the side, sinking down there. And with our inhale, we're gonna come down into the squat. And then with our exhale, we're gonna press the hands down and come back to stand. And then inhale, whatever your chosen hand or arm variation, come down in the squat. And then exhale, slow and steady, simply stand. We got 2 or 3 more. Find that flow, that song of your breath. Feel your body coming into balance. Good job. Go ahead and just settle back down. Now we're gonna go ahead and bring the hands behind us now and interlace the fingers with our feet still wide. Go ahead and just draw the knuckles back and down. And inhale, lift the chest, gently scoop the hips forward, little bend in the knees. This is our inhale, and then exhale, we're gonna, like you're gonna dive into a pool, or diving forward and down, swan dive, hands come all the way down to the floor. Inhale up halfway, hands up to knees or hips. And then exhale, hands back down to either your yoga blocks or the floor. Again, inhale, scoop and gather hands around behind. Lead with the heart, lead with the crown of the head. And exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale up halfway. Exhale. Feel those hamstrings lengthening. Inhale, hands around behind. Draw the knuckles back and down together. Heart lifts, hips scoop under. Exhale, one last time. One more cycle of this modified sun breath. Good. Exhale, bring the hands back to the hips. Just gently shift the hips side to side and go ahead and step the feet in. For a balance practice tonight, we're gonna work on something very simple. It's sort of like a march in place. We're gonna make it a little bit more mindful, more of a mindful movement instead of like an aerobic movement. So again, we're gonna have the arms up here in that T shape, and then we're gonna go ahead and lift and twist. Again, inhaling, exhaling on the other side. And let the hands and face be relaxed. If that feels like it's a little bit too challenging, you could just try and simply lift one knee about the height of the hip. You could do that on one side and then the other as an alternative. Otherwise, we're going to spend about the next 30 seconds. Lift the knee and twist elbow to knee, opposite side. Try to take your time and make it a graceful flow. Take your time, unrushed. and steady. Two more times on each side. All right, last one. Good job. Relax the hands. Go ahead and bring the hands to rest on the belly. Inhale deeply into your belly. Exhale into your belly. Feel that space just below the belly button. Rise and fall with the breath. Soften in the knees, relax the shoulders back and down. And keeping one hand in this position in front of the belly, bring the other hand up, bicep by the ear for a lateral stretch, reaching over and across, reaching, then come back to center. We're going to do the same side 3 times and then switch. Reaching over and across. Keep the shoulders as level as you can. Good. Switch, other hand, rest on or below the belly. Lengthen that side body. Good job. Just one more cycle of 3 on each side. Very good. Last time, other side. All right, very good. Bring the hands back down by your side. Pick the shoulders up like you were carrying 2 heavy buckets. And then exhale, just drop them, relax through the fingertips. Inhale. And exhale. One more time. Good. Shake out the hands. Gently shake out each leg. We're going to go ahead and come down to sit on the mat with our legs outstretched in front. Now, if your hamstrings are really tight, I'd already mentioned earlier, you could tuck a little blanket or something just behind the sitting bones. But if that didn't really quite provide relief and you're feeling any pinching in your hips or lower back, you might need to elevate your seat. You might also need to keep a bend in the knees. There's no shame in that. You just need a blanket or a bolster or some kind of blocks, something you can bring to help just let the legs relax so you can work on lengthening them. Make any accommodations that you need for your practice. All right. Inhale, reach up tall, leading with the crown of the head, really stacking the vertebrae in the spine. Let the arms just relax down by the legs. The goal isn't necessarily to touch the toes. The goal is to just stay here in the present moment, one breath at a time. Exhale, gently hinge forward from the hips, and just let the torso start to rest and reach forward. And then just inhale, come right back up, stacking shoulders over hips. Progressively, the lower back and spine will lengthen, the hamstrings will lengthen. We'll be able to gain back some of that flexibility there. Take your time, making your way into this forward fold and holding there. Don't round through the spine and collapse. Maintain an engaged back. So again, it's that balance between ease and effort. You can let the arms just relax on the floor, or if you have a strap, or if you want to just hold onto the toes or knees, wherever the hands are comfortable, let them be there. And we're going to stay here in this forward fold for about the next 25 to 45 seconds, starting now. And when you're ready, you can come on back up if you haven't already done so. Those forward fold poses really do embody that shift into a more deeply relaxed mindset. They really do act with our nervous system to shift us into that parasympathetic nervous system response. Science has shown us that yoga, especially these forward fold poses, can help facilitate that. So that's just a little tidbit that you can keep with yourself if you're ever feeling really stressed or just strung out on that go, 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 fight or flight competitive response. A forward fold might be exactly what you need to reset the balance. We're going to make our way down to lie and rest on our backs. I'm going to bring the camera down just another inch here so you can fully see me on the ground. Let's see, make a little shift here. All right, that should work well. Okay. So go ahead and make that shift down to your back, a little bend in the knees. You can relax the shoulders back and down together. Gently shift the hips, let the lower back relax. Just gently begin to drop the knees from side to side. And then go ahead and actually hug one knee into your chest. Doesn't matter which side. I'm going to start with my left knee. Hug that knee in towards the chest. And then keeping a little bit of pressure. You want to really try and keep that glute grounded to the floor. Keep a little pressure hugging that knee in. And simultaneously press and straighten that leg. Heel towards the ceiling. And when the leg is fully extended, go ahead and just point the toe. Roll the ankle a few times. And when you're ready, bring a little bend back in the knee, inhale and rest, and repeat. You can do that about 9 times on this side, and then we'll do it about 9 times on the other side. Stay with your breath, simply counting to 9, one breath at a time. Every inhalation and exhalation count towards 1 in your breath. When you're ready, go ahead, relax that foot down, hug the opposite knee in towards the chest. Keep those hips square, just like we checked in during our lunge. And when you're ready, repeat. And when you're ready, go ahead and place both feet back on the floor. Relax your arms out to the side. Go ahead and lift your feet and legs, stacking your knees right above your hips, making this lying down tabletop position. We could have been like in cat and cow here earlier. So now we're on our backs. And go ahead and just slowly begin to drop the knees over to one side. I'm going to start by dropping them to the left side. Keep your shoulder blades on the floor. If the knees don't totally rest on the mat, you can always bring a bolster or blanket either in between the knees or underneath of the knees. And then when you're ready, you can just look over that opposite shoulder. Alternatively, you could straighten that top leg here if you want to. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the other side here. Dropping my knees down to the right, both shoulder blades stay on the floor. Here for about 5 to 10 breaths, depending on how long your breath is. Take your time, come back through center, hugging the knees in towards the chest. Make some little body circles, massaging the lower back on your mat. Then go ahead and plant your feet back on the floor. Step your feet wider. And then go ahead and let the knees actually stack back in towards one another. And you can let the hands rest on the belly or chest, or if you're comfortable to just let the arms stick up out by your side, you can. And go ahead and just pause here. Check back in. Let yourself really settle in, make any adjustments. This positioning of the feet to knees is really constructive and restorative for your lower back. If there's any kind of tightness or pinching in the lower back, or just general tightness or inflammation in the lower back, this constructive rest position is one other tool in your toolbox to help better your well-being right now. When you're ready, stretch your legs long, stretch your hands up and overhead. And then go ahead and make yourself comfortable in your Savasana. I'm going to come back to a seated position, facilitate a brief relaxation. Our remaining about 8 to 10 minutes of class, lead us through a guided meditation and body scan relaxation. Take your time to get totally comfortable. Let your arms just sprawl out to the side. Let your legs just plop out, right leg and left leg. You need to bring a little cushion or something underneath the legs to help comfort and support the lower back. Sometimes sliding that cushion will make you more comfortable. Gently turn your head and neck side to side, and then let the head and neck relax and center. If find any final movements, any last needed physical adjustments, so that your body can be totally still and awareness down to your breath. With your breath, that force of push and pull, that space between them. Mental space between the lapping waves, beach or seashore. And like a lapping wave or a humming sound soothes you, bring your awareness down into your feet, feel grounded, secure. Your scan over each toe, sides of your feet, awareness up through the legs and knees, way up into the hips, pelvic bowl. Let your legs, your knees, your feet all be relaxed. Wherever your mind goes, it scans through the body. Feel it like a beautiful cleansing, like a warm, clean, clear ocean wave, washing over the supple and relaxed, restoring its functions. Now we reach that vital point below the belly button. The belly, breathe in, feel the belly relax with every passing exhalation. Float effortlessly, each breath lifting. Bringing to the center of your chest. Feel a warmth emanating, pouring forth center. Quiet, serene, still place. Hear the sound, peaceful. Thank you for part now. Let's function, keeping our vehicles moving this lifetime. Achieve. Listen, you can hear your heart say thank you. That same passionate, tender, loving care you exhibit towards a child or family, your cat or dog. Bring your awareness now up into the face. See if you can just energetically or physically, if you need to, feel any wrinkles or held spots of tension in the jaw, eyes, ears, forehead. Let your face be a serene, peaceful, well-fed, sleeping baby. Let your face be that peaceful, without need or find an expression of that serenity is a gentle smile. Rest now, beautiful inner smile. And feel that light. Now feel that peace. Seem ironic, but through your willingness to let go, surrender, and ease in the hearing, being a willful participant in it, start to edge, feel surrender, once, passion, division, us and them, self and the other, all starts to fade away. Feel that deep well of love of all things. Your face, your body, relax. Start to deepen your breath and then balance again. No full contribution. Simply awareness exists here, urging, uniting, peaceful presence. versus this rich peace, vibration, resonance, peace. Deepen your breath. During breath, you can just feel grounded, but still connected to that kind of lightness, evasive, peaceful lightness. She can stay here and rest as long as you can. Mind and spirit rest. Feel our nose outside. The light in me honors and sees the light. Namaste. Shanti. Namaste.